Membership renewal is a straightforward process, but data is either taken from or sent to other parts of the Beacon system, so it's important to get the steps in the right order. This video looks at how to renew members within Beacon. It doesn't cover online renewals through the membership portal. To renew members in Beacon, you must be the membership secretary or have similar privileges in Beacon. There are 4 main steps. Verification. Check that you're dealing with an existing member or someone who has been a member in the past. Confirm and update the member's details if necessary. Certain data, such as gift aid and membership class, must be changed before renewing membership. Renew the membership. This updates the member's Beacon record and generates a membership financial transaction. And acknowledge renewal. Let the member know that their payment has been received and their membership renewed. Make sure you're dealing with an existing or former member rather than a new member. Click Members under Membership in the main administration menu to display the list of current members. Search for the person concerned either using the quick search box at the top or by clicking the first letter of the surname in the row of letters above the list. If you can't find the person, select the lapsed and resigned boxes at the top of the list. If the member is marked as resigned, you'll need to change this as described in the next slide. If the name still can't be found, you're dealing with an application to become a new member, which needs to be handled separately. Before processing the renewal, it's prudent to check the member's details on Beacon. Click the member's name in the members list to open their member record. Depending on how your U3A processes renewals, you might have a renewal form with all details, including address, phone number and so on, or you might just ask for any changes. Regardless of the system you use, there are 3 important fields to check. Status. This must either be current or lapsed. If it's resigned, you must change it to current or lapsed before you can renew the membership. Gift aid. If the member has opted into gift aid, check that this field already contains a date. If not, add today's date or the date on the member's gift aid declaration. However, if the member has told you they're no longer eligible, clear the date from this field. This must be done before renewing because gift aid declarations are generated from the ledger entry created when a member is added or renews. Amending this field later doesn't update the gift aid ledger. The last field to check is class. Make sure the correct membership class is set because this determines the required subscription. Now, a word of warning, don't be tempted to change the next renewal field. This is changed automatically when you process the renewal. Changing this field now won't renew the member's record correctly. After making any necessary changes, click the Save button to update the member record. One last check before you process the renewal. Make sure the right amount of money has been received. Regardless of whether you receive the money by bank transfer, cheque or cash, the correct amount is determined by membership class. If paying by bank transfer, has the correct sum been received in the U3A's bank account? If the payment is by cheque, then is it correctly dated? Is the payee correct? Does the amount written as text agree with the figure, and has it been signed? And if paying by cash, is the amount correct? If you receive more than the renewal fee, the difference will be automatically recorded as a donation. Check that this is what the member intends. If the money is less, the discrepancy must be resolved before proceeding further. To renew one or more members, select Membership Renewals under Membership in the main administration menu. This displays a list of both current and lapsed members. If your U3A operates a rolling membership year, in other words, where members are renewed on the anniversary of their joining, all current and lapsed members are shown. If your U3A has a fixed membership year, there are up to 3 options. The first one, next year, is visible only during the advance renewals period prior to the start of a new membership year. It displays members who've not yet renewed for next year. Current year displays members who've not renewed for the current year but did renew the previous year. And previous years shows those who didn't renew for either the current or previous year. If you can't find the name you're looking for, it could be because the membership status is neither current nor lapsed, so go back and change it. It could also be because the member has already renewed. Yes, it does happen. So much for the theory. Let's renew some members by selecting membership renewals. You can renew one member at a time or batch process them. If your U3A runs a fixed membership year like this demo version of Beacon that I'm using, select the appropriate period at the top. Now I'm doing this after the start of the membership year, so the option for next year is no longer visible. I've just got the current year and previous years. Make sure that the correct bank account is selected. Normally this should default to membership, and then you can change the payment type, check, cash, or backs. Let's do backs. And this is the last opportunity to check that the right amount has been received. On the left you have the due column. This shows the amount that's due from the member. To the right of that is the received column. This is an editable field where you can adjust the actual amount the member has paid. If it's less than the due amount, Beacon will warn you, but you can override that if necessary. For example, if you've agreed a special discount with the member. If it's more than the due amount, Beacon records the excess as a donation. If your U3A has joint membership, you can process both partners in a single transaction by selecting the Include Partner checkbox. If you claim for gift aid, it's important to determine which partner has registered for gift aid first. In this example, Alan Abbey and Alice Abbey. Alan is marked in the gift aid column with a Y, indicating that he is registered, whereas Alice is gift aid N. She's not registered. So the person we need to select for including the partner is the one with the Y in that gift aid column. And then it combines the two of them together in a single transaction, Alan Abbey and Alice Abbey, and it shows that gift aid is still being registered here. And that will ensure that their joint fee will be entered in the gift aid ledger. Now this next couple, John Abrahams and Patricia Abrahams, are also joint members, but they're the other way round. John is not registered for gift aid, whereas Patricia is. If I select Include Partner alongside John's name, it shows that gift aid won't be registered in the ledger. So I need to deselect that Include Partner and then instead select Patricia Abrahams. They're now combined, and we can see that gift aid will be registered because there's that Y in the gift aid column. Now you also need to select the checkbox in the left-hand column for each couple or individual that you want to renew. So we'll select the Abbeys and the Abrahams, and let's also select Jane Administrator, who is an individual member. When you're satisfied that all the data selected is correct, scroll down to the bottom and then open the drop-down menu here and select Renew Selected Members, and then click the Do With Selected button. It tells us that 3 members are going to be renewed. That's our 2 pairs and the individual member. Then we need to tick this box to confirm, because once we do this it can't be undone, so we need to confirm that. Note that if you're only doing 1 member at a time, you don't get this little tick box, and then when you're happy with that, click Continue, and that updates each membership record at the same time as generating the corresponding transactions in the membership and gift aid ledgers. It also prepares membership cards for the people you've just renewed. You can now enter an optional payment reference for each renewal, and this is a free text format that can be used to record check numbers, paying in slip numbers, the dates of a backs credit, and so on. If you enter anything into these fields, make sure that you click Update, but if you leave them blank, you can either click the Renewals link to carry out more renewals, or the Home link to go back to the main administration menu. Once you've renewed members in Beacon, you should send them confirmation. You can do this by issuing a membership card, a personal email, or a letter. All of these can be created using facilities within Beacon, but they're beyond the scope of this video. Let's quickly recap membership renewal. Renewing membership is different from adding a new member, so make sure you're dealing with an existing or former member. If you can't find the member in the list of current members, check for lapsed and resigned members rather than creating a duplicate record. If you're dealing with someone who previously resigned, you must change their status to current or lapsed before you can renew them. Update the member's record before renewing. This is particularly important if they're changing membership class or gift aid declaration. Before combining joint members, select the partner registered for gift aid. This will ensure their gift aid donation is entered correctly in the appropriate ledger. Finally, send the member confirmation and receipt of payment.